Hi, this is Jeff Mann. I'm a security strategist and thought leader for Tenable Network Security. I've been in the information, or what we now call the cybersecurity business, for over 30 years, starting with the Department of Defense many years ago. A question I often get from people that I talk to and companies that I've done business with over the years is, how well are we doing? How is the industry evolving and how is it changing? What I like to tell people is it actually hasn't changed a whole lot. Technology has advanced. Certainly the speed of communications and technology and the free-flowing availability of information is faster and faster and more readily available these days. But the basic fundamental best practices of security that's involved in protecting data, protecting corporate reputation, protecting things that you want to protect in a company, those things really haven't changed a whole lot. In fact, we've never, as a community, as an industry, gotten very good at solving the problem of the basics of information or cybersecurity. What does that mean? That means, as a company, you need to first start with a goal. What are we trying to protect? Understanding what your valuable information resources are. What are the things that you want to protect in terms of sensitive information, whether it's customer information, what we like to call personal private information these days, or if you're in the healthcare industry, personal healthcare information. If you're in the payment retail space, it might be credit and debit card information. It could be financial information about your company. It could be research data. It could be just simply your corporate reputation. Identify what it is that you want to protect and then have a plan and a strategy for how you want to protect it. Understand who wants it, who would benefit from receiving it. What would the consequences be if that information was not available to within your company or to your customers? What are the impacts to not having that data or the technology that the data resides on readily available? These are complicated questions that are difficult to answer sometimes, but the fundamental is having a plan, having a strategy, having a goal. That is what we call in the business a risk management decision. One of the most important things to realize about having a functional or effective security program is to realize that security is not a state of being. It's not some place that you get in terms of your company, in terms of your operations, your IT operations, your IT security operations. Security at the end of the day is a verb. It's something that you do. There's no such thing as this perfect state of being where you've done everything you need to do, you've implemented and invested in all the security technologies and controls, and you're done. You can sit back and just relax and generate revenue and conduct commerce. At the end of the day, the most effective security programs are the ones where you're being wary, where you're being watchful, where you're being diligent. There are things that you can do, obviously, to make the likelihood of a breach or an attack against your company that much harder to accomplish. But at the end of the day, you're not going to cover everything. You're not going to catch everything. So you need to be watchful. You need to be diligent. You need to know the areas where you are less secure. You need to know the areas where you have residual vulnerabilities, because the operating system hasn't been patched in 6 years, that the application that is the prime part of your business and the key generating component of your business is running on. And so you can't change anything because you don't want to lose the business. So if you can't fix it, monitor it, watch it, look for the abnormal activities. This requires some diligence. This requires some work to understand what are your normal operations. What is the data that's coming into your environment? What is the data that's flowing out of your environment, and where and how and by whom and when? Learning all these little things, learning what's normal, increases the odds that anybody in your company can detect what the abnormal is. And then if you've trained your employees to be a part of the equation, they're more likely to respond and say, hey, that's weird, that looks different, that looks out of the ordinary, you're not supposed to be there, that's not supposed to be happening, and they report it to somebody. Good security, effective security, is not eliminating the possibility of the breach. It's detecting the breach early in the time frame of the breach, so that you can minimize the damages, detect what's happening, and stop it and prevent it from happening again.